I have about 6 talks that I give that I can give almost in a coma. You were about to hear probably the most disorganized, disgruntled public speech I've ever given. And I'll tell you why. I've been in self-publishing since 1968, and some people say that if you get one good idea from a seminar, it's been worth your money. So far, I have 112, and I think Ted Nicholas deserves a hell of a hand for that. Secondly, it doesn't put a dime in my pocket whether or not you buy his products. And perhaps you shouldn't. Perhaps you should spend the next 25 years learning this stuff the hard way. Because my motto is, you got to be tough if you're going to be stupid. So if you're tough enough, don't buy this stuff. You'll learn it yourself. You know, $250,000 and a quarter century later. I've listened to the audience's questions, and I feel that they have been all intelligent questions. But I also feel they were nearly all off the mark. You people have asked about printing, you've asked about fulfillment, 800 numbers, merchant accounts. Those aren't stupid questions. But let me try and emblazon something in your mind. In self-publishing and in direct marketing, if 100 equals success, 99.9 of that success is getting the sale. And that's what all of your questions should be about. Where do I get my books printed? There are 10,000 people who can print your books. How do I get an 800 number? There are 10,000 services or whatever many for that. How do I get my orders fulfilled? People in the phone book have solved those problems. Never worry about problems that have already been solved by multitudes of people. Now, I'm not berating you for asking these questions. I'm just saying you're asking these questions out of sequence. Because in the larger scene, the answers to those questions are of very little consequence. If you don't know the answer to the one big question, and that is, how can I sell my product on a cost-effective basis? That's what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about how you sell your products, not how you fulfill them, not how you get them printed, not how you get an 800 number or anything. I've been in self-publishing since 1968. I have made so many millions of dollars that I have become a legend in my own mind. None of you should feel jealous about that, because I have the same capacity for keeping my money as a pig has for solving geometry problems. I've got a big earning capacity because I have to, because I'm so stupid about money. But because of self-publishing, and even though I'm an idiot about keeping money, I still manage right now to live in Key West, Florida, in a beautiful home with a double-sized yard, a swimming pool, a jacuzzi, and a waterfall. I drive a Cadillac, bought a Rolls Royce for my girlfriend. I have 3 boats. One is the original Sea Hunt. One is a Ribowitz, which some people consider the finest fishing boat in the world. And almost all of that came from money that has been sent to me in the mail or telephoned to me with credit cards. When I fly over the United States, I look down on the country with happiness, secure in the knowledge that 1 out of every 3 homes I have flown over has sent me or one of my clients that I got a commission on a check. That's the only part about flying that I actually like. If selling is the number one thing you have to concern yourself with, then the number one question you have to begin with, the bedrock, is what is it that I am going to sell? And Ted has offered you some really excellent suggestions on what to sell. And I am going to give you some almost foolproof suggestions on what to sell. What you want to sell, ideally, is a superior version of a book or other information product that is already selling well with superior advertising. It costs too much to be a pioneer when the road has already been paved. Now, how do you find products, books? I'm just going to refer to books, but when I say books, think videos and all the other things. But let's just keep. How do you find books that are selling well through direct response? It's very simple. You get letters in your mailbox, if you're on enough mailing list, about them over and over, or you see them repeated in magazines over and over and over and over. One of the things, a lot of people think of me as a creative genius, and although I would be the last to deny that, the truth is, most of my success, more of it comes from cowardice than it does from creativity. And I'm afraid to try and sell diet pills to weightlifters. I'm afraid to try and sell gain weight formulas to fat people. I want to sell things that are already selling. Now, I not only publish my own material, I also have an elite handful of clients that I work with in such a manner that if they let me choose the product, I guarantee that they will get a winner. And I charge an awfully lot of money. And if I don't produce a winner for them on the first time, I have to do it on the second time, and so forth. So I try and make damn sure I do it on the first time. I'm not going to read all of this letter because much of it's confidential. But I have a number of clients that I've worked with on this basis, and I spent hundreds of hours picking the product that I would sell for them. I'd like to share with you my choices that I outlined to them in a letter I wrote Saturday, November 28th. There's 10 products. I'm not going to tell you about 2 of them. They are confidential. But I am going to tell you about 8 of them, and they are all books. 1, the approximate title of this one will be What to Do About Arthritis Pain. I envision it selling for between $10 and $19, and there is a huge proven market for such information. 2, approximate title, How to Pick Up Girls Instantly Anywhere in the World. This is another proven monster product of which similar ones have been selling well for years. There is no end to this market. 3, approximate title, How to Negotiate and Win No Matter Who You're Up Against. And I went on to say, you know, every time I get on an airplane and leaf through the in-flight magazine of whatever airline I'm on, I see a multi-page ad for the Caras negotiating seminar. It cost hundreds of dollars to attend this seminar, and I believe $317 to purchase the tapes of same. I'm sick of seeing this ad. It has been repeated so often for so many times that whomever running it must be worth a fortune. Now imagine someone having read the Caras ad and then a few pages later seen another ad for a negotiating book which gives the Caras and other techniques and much, much more and selling for only $39 to $69. Seems like a natural to me. 4, approximate title, 57 proven ways to lower your golf score. Combine a killer ad with a low price tag, $19 to $99, and I think the golfers of America will gobble it up by the thousands. 5, approximate title, 27 secret ways to melt off body fat, hour by hour. What can I say? There's just no end to the market for diet information. 6, approximate title, latest facts on how to cure prostate problems. If you're anywhere near my age, you almost certainly know prostate problems are a major concern to the majority of men after they reach 50. Books offering this type of info have been selling like hotcakes for years, and there's no end in sight. 7, approximate title, how to flatten your stomach in the fastest way humanly possible. The flatten your stomach appeal has been pulling well for over a decade, but I can't help but wonder how much more profitable it would be with one of my ads pulling in the sales. 8, approximate title, how to get what the U.S. government owes you. This was my first successful mail order book idea, and like the Social Security ad and book, it has been copied profitably by many others, and I say they're like hyenas yapping at my heels in different variations. Personally, I think it's time for me to get back into this game and create a super book which will be sold with a super ad. This area is all the more enticing now since there are so many cars, boats, homes, etc. that have been seized by the DEA and customs agents, which can be purchased dirt cheap by a person who has the right info. Why did I pick those projects? I don't think there's any mystery or any of you have any doubts about why I picked those projects. They are proven appeals. They are never-ending concerns of people. Get up in the morning and read USA Today. How to give your golfer an extra 50 yards for Christmas for only $9.95. Golfers are like heroin addicts. They will spend any amount of money for any gizmo they think will take 2 or 3 strokes off their game. Are there any golfers in the audience? Is that not true? That's absolutely true. Reading USA Today. I picked up an ad. Does a man's prostate have to grow into a problem when he grows up? Would you raise your hand if you're a male over 50? Would you agree that there's never going to be an end for the market for prostate relief? Huh? What now? It is crucial for you to know what appeals work. The most important thing Ted said in this seminar, if you never get anything else out of it, is that you don't sell people what they need, you sell them what they want. You can swim upriver if you want to, and trying to sell something that's trying to be logical about selling is one of the most difficult swims that you are ever going to make. I'm going to suggest another couple ways for you to get ideas for products. One, Ted mentioned you should get the SRDS Consumer Magazine book, and you should. Because when you read of a special interest magazine and find out its circulation, you know that there is enough people, and they have captured the names and addresses of those people to be viable. Like model railroading. You wouldn't believe the publications. You know how many model railroaders there are. But you should also get the SRDS list book. And you should read the descriptions of those lists. It should be your nighttime reading. What they do is they list nearly every mailing list available in America. They tell you who owns the list, how to contact them. They tell you how many names are on the list, what the average unit of sale was, and what the appeal was and what they bought. And you will see lists all the way from a couple hundred names to 78 million names. Now, if you're going to put your time and energy into writing a book And writing is the single most difficult work in the world. Does it not make sense to write a book that's going to sell a ton of copies as opposed to writing a book that's only going to be read by your mother-in-law because she'd be too embarrassed to not to? And so if you read the SRDS list book, for example, and you find that last year 475,000 people purchased by mail a book on how to lose weight, and only 1,250 purchased another book on how to gain weight, what are you going to write your book about? How to gain weight? Got to be tough if you're going to be stupid. So you should, of all things you should become, is you should become a student of markets. Become a student of markets. Now, having said that, I am now going to talk about what I call selling formulas. And what I have learned is the best way to work with these selling formulas. What you really have to do is you have to get your selling presentation down on paper. That is the first step to every great marketing campaign. And then you have to translate that or permute it or reform it or adjust it into what I call delivery systems. I look at my sales message as a nuclear weapon and the delivery system as the vehicle that gets it to the consumer. And we're going to talk about some delivery systems and ways to make, that I have found through trial and error, to make those delivery systems more effective.